Entrepreneurial thinking is one of the most powerful skills in business and innovation. At its core, entrepreneurial thinking is the ability to identify opportunities, solve problems creatively, and take action to create value. Entrepreneurs do not simply follow existing paths. They question the way things are done and search for better solutions. Where some people see obstacles, entrepreneurs often see possibilities. This mindset begins with curiosity. Entrepreneurs constantly observe the world around them, looking for inefficiencies, unmet needs, and new opportunities. When they identify a problem, they begin asking an important question: how can this be improved? Entrepreneurial thinking also requires the willingness to take calculated risks. Every new idea carries uncertainty. However, successful entrepreneurs understand that progress often comes from experimentation and learning. Failure in this mindset is not the end of the journey. Instead, it becomes valuable feedback that guides future decisions. Another key element of entrepreneurial thinking is innovation. Innovation does not always mean inventing something entirely new. Sometimes it simply means improving an existing product, service, or process. Many successful businesses began with a simple insight: people want something faster, easier, more affordable, or more convenient. Entrepreneurial thinkers build solutions around these insights. Finally, entrepreneurial thinking is grounded in persistence. Building a business, developing new ideas, and solving complex problems require patience and discipline. The entrepreneurs who succeed are often those who remain committed to their vision, even when progress is slow. In the end, entrepreneurial thinking is not limited to business owners. It is a way of approaching challenges with creativity, initiative, and determination. And for those who develop this mindset, the possibilities can be limitless. Difference between employees and entrepreneurs. In the world of business, two roles are essential to how organizations operate and grow: employees and entrepreneurs. While both contribute value to the economy, they approach work, risk, and opportunity in very different ways. Employees typically work within an existing organization. They perform specific roles designed to help a company operate efficiently and achieve its goals. Employees are usually compensated with a fixed salary or hourly wage, providing a predictable and stable source of income. Their responsibilities are often clearly defined, and their work follows established systems, processes, and management decisions. Entrepreneurs, on the other hand, operate differently. Rather than working within a system, entrepreneurs create the system. They identify opportunities in the market, develop ideas, and build businesses that provide products or services to customers. Instead of earning a fixed salary, entrepreneurs generate income through business profits, investments, and long-term growth. With this opportunity also comes greater risk. Entrepreneurs must make strategic decisions, manage uncertainty, and take responsibility for the success or failure of their ventures. This often requires long hours, persistence, and a willingness to adapt when challenges arise. Another important difference lies in perspective. Employees typically focus on performing their role effectively within an organization. Entrepreneurs constantly search for new opportunities, innovative ideas, and ways to improve existing solutions. However, it's important to recognize that both roles are valuable. Employees help businesses operate smoothly and efficiently. Entrepreneurs create the ideas, systems, and opportunities that allow businesses to exist in the first place. In many cases, successful entrepreneurs were once employees who developed the skills, experience, and confidence needed to eventually build something of their own. Ultimately, the difference is not just about job titles. It is about mindset. Employees help run businesses. Why mindset matters more than ideas. Many people believe that successful businesses begin with great ideas. But in reality, ideas alone rarely create successful companies. What truly makes the difference is mindset. A strong entrepreneurial mindset determines how a person approaches challenges, opportunities, and uncertainty. It influences how decisions are made, how risks are evaluated, and how persistence is maintained when obstacles arise. Ideas can be powerful, but without the right mindset, even the best ideas can fail. Throughout business history, many people have had similar ideas, yet only a few were able to turn those ideas into successful enterprises. The reason often lies not in the idea itself, but in the ability to execute, adapt, and persevere. Entrepreneurs with the right mindset understand that ideas are only the starting point. Turning an idea into a business requires planning, discipline, and continuous learning. Markets change, competition appears, and unexpected challenges arise. In these moments, mindset becomes the most valuable asset an entrepreneur has. A strong mindset encourages resilience. When setbacks occur, entrepreneurs with the right perspective view failure not as the end, but as feedback. They analyze what went wrong, make improvements, and move forward with greater knowledge. Mindset also shapes how opportunities are recognized. Two people may look at the same situation. One may see difficulty, while the other sees possibility. The difference lies in how they think. Entrepreneurs train themselves to observe problems and imagine solutions. They ask questions such as, how can this be improved? What value can be created here? Another reason mindset matters more than ideas is that ideas evolve. Many successful businesses began very differently from what their founders originally imagined. Through experimentation, feedback, and learning, the original concept gradually improved. Without a flexible and determined mindset, these changes would not have been possible. Ultimately, ideas are common. Millions of people have ideas every day. What separates successful entrepreneurs is the mindset that allows them to transform those ideas into reality. It is the willingness to act, to learn, and to continue moving forward even when the path is uncertain. In business, ideas may start the journey, but mindset is what carries it forward. Risk versus opportunity thinking. One of the defining differences between entrepreneurs and many others in the workforce is how they think about risk. Most people are naturally cautious when facing uncertainty. When they encounter a risky situation, their first instinct is often to focus on what could go wrong. This perspective is known as risk-focused thinking. Risk-focused thinking asks questions such as, what if this fails? What if I lose money? What if the idea does not work? While this perspective can help people avoid danger, it can also prevent them from recognizing valuable opportunities. Entrepreneurs, however, often approach the same situation from a different perspective. Instead of focusing only on the risks, they also look for the opportunities. This is known as opportunity thinking. Opportunity thinking asks a different set of questions. What value could this create? What problem could be solved? How can this idea be improved or tested? This does not mean that entrepreneurs ignore risks. In fact, successful entrepreneurs study risks carefully. But rather than allowing risk to stop them, they focus on managing it. They look for ways to test ideas on a small scale, gather feedback, and adjust their strategy before committing larger resources. For example, an entrepreneur might launch a small pilot project before investing heavily in a new product. This allows them to learn about the market while limiting potential losses. In this way, opportunity thinking combines optimism with strategy. Entrepreneurs understand that risk is a natural part of innovation and growth. Every new business, product, or technology begins with uncertainty. But within that uncertainty lies the possibility of progress. Opportunity thinkers train themselves to see potential where others see danger. They ask not only what could go wrong, but also what could go right. This shift in perspective can make a powerful difference, because in many cases, the greatest opportunities are discovered by those who are willing to explore the unknown with curiosity, preparation, and courage. Thinking beyond short-term profits. One of the most important characteristics of successful entrepreneurs is the ability to think beyond short-term profits. In many situations, it can be tempting to focus only on immediate financial gains. Short-term profit can feel like quick success. However, entrepreneurs who build lasting businesses understand that true success is often the result of long-term thinking. Instead of asking, how much money can I make today? Successful entrepreneurs often ask a different question. How can I build something valuable that will grow over time? Long-term thinking encourages entrepreneurs to focus on sustainability, customer trust, and continuous improvement. For example, a business might choose to invest in better products, improved customer service, or stronger systems. These investments may reduce short-term profits, but they often lead to greater success in the future. Many of the most respected companies in the world did not become successful overnight. They built their reputation gradually by focusing on long-term value rather than quick financial rewards. Entrepreneurs who think long-term also understand the importance of building strong relationships with customers, employees, and partners. Trust and reputation are assets that grow over time and can become some of the most powerful advantages a business can have. Another important aspect of long-term thinking is patience. Building a successful business often requires time, experimentation, and persistence. Markets evolve, customer needs change, and strategies must adapt. Entrepreneurs who focus only on immediate results may give up too quickly when progress is slow. But those who think long-term understand that meaningful growth often takes time. Long-term thinking also encourages smarter decision-making. Instead of chasing quick profits, entrepreneurs focus on creating systems, products, and services that remain valuable for years to come. In the end, the goal of entrepreneurship is not simply to make money quickly. It is to build something meaningful, sustainable, and impactful. Short-term profits may bring temporary success, but long-term thinking builds businesses that last. Building long-term value. Successful entrepreneurs understand that the true strength of a business lies not only in the profits it generates today, but in the value it builds for the future. Building long-term value means focusing on sustainability, trust, and consistent growth. Rather than chasing quick wins, entrepreneurs ask a deeper question: how can this business remain valuable for years to come? One of the foundations of long-term value is customer trust. Businesses that consistently deliver quality products or services build strong relationships with their customers. Over time, this trust becomes a powerful asset. Loyal customers return, recommend the business to others, and help create a stable foundation for growth. Another important factor is continuous improvement. Markets evolve, technologies change, and customer expectations increase. Entrepreneurs who build long-term value are constantly learning and adapting. They invest in improving their products, refining their services, and strengthening their systems. These improvements may require time and resources, but they often create a competitive advantage that lasts for years. Long-term value is also built through strong systems and leadership. Instead of relying only on short bursts of effort, successful entrepreneurs design systems that allow the business to operate efficiently and grow steadily. This includes building capable teams, establishing clear processes, and maintaining strong financial discipline. When a business is built on strong systems, it becomes more resilient during challenges and more capable of seizing new opportunities. Finally, building long-term value requires patience and vision. Entrepreneurs who focus on the future understand that meaningful growth rarely happens overnight. They stay committed to their goals, even when progress appears gradual. Over time, these steady efforts accumulate, and what begins as a small idea can eventually grow into a lasting enterprise. In business, short-term success may bring temporary rewards, but long-term value is what creates businesses that endure, adapt, and continue to make an impact for years to come. The power of vision in business. One of the most powerful qualities that successful entrepreneurs possess is vision. Vision is the ability to see possibilities that do not yet exist. It is the capacity to imagine a future that is different, better, or more efficient than the present. In business, vision acts as a guiding force. It gives direction to decisions, strategies, and long-term goals. Without a clear vision, a business can easily lose focus, reacting to short-term challenges without a clear sense of purpose. Entrepreneurs with strong vision understand where they want their business to go, even if the path to get there is still evolving. A powerful vision does more than guide the entrepreneur. It inspires others. Employees, partners, and customers are often drawn to businesses that stand for something meaningful. When people believe in a vision, they become more motivated to contribute their time, energy, and ideas. This shared sense of purpose can transform a simple organization into a dynamic and innovative team. Vision also encourages long-term thinking. Entrepreneurs who are guided by a strong vision are less likely to focus only on immediate gains. Instead, they concentrate on building systems, products, and relationships that support their larger goals. Even when challenges arise, vision helps maintain direction. Every business faces obstacles, market changes, competition, financial pressure, or unexpected setbacks. In these moments, vision becomes a source of resilience. It reminds entrepreneurs why they started and what they are working to achieve. Another important aspect of vision is its ability to inspire innovation. When entrepreneurs imagine a better future, they begin to ask new questions. What can be improved? What problem can be solved? How can we create something more valuable for customers? These questions lead to new ideas, better products, and stronger businesses. Ultimately, Vision transforms ambition into action. It turns a simple idea into a long-term mission. And in many of the world's most successful businesses, it is vision, not just resources or opportunity, that serves as the foundation for lasting impact. Why risk is necessary in entrepreneurship. Risk is an unavoidable part of entrepreneurship. Every new business idea begins with uncertainty. There is no guarantee that a product will succeed, that customers will respond positively, or that the market will behave as expected. Because of this uncertainty, entrepreneurs must be willing to accept a certain level of risk. However, risk in entrepreneurship is not about reckless decisions. Successful entrepreneurs do not gamble blindly. Instead, they take calculated risks, carefully evaluating opportunities, preparing for challenges, and making informed choices. Why is risk necessary? Because innovation requires stepping into the unknown. If every business decision were completely safe and predictable, progress would be limited. New ideas, new technologies, and new business models all emerge when someone is willing to try something different. Entrepreneurs recognize that risk is often the gateway to opportunity. For example, launching a new product carries the risk that customers may not respond as expected, but it also creates the opportunity to solve problems in new ways and reach new markets. Similarly, investing in a new business venture requires time, money, and effort. Yet without that willingness to invest, growth and innovation would never occur. Another important reason risk is necessary is that it creates learning. Not every decision will lead to immediate success. In fact, many entrepreneurs experience setbacks along the way. But each challenge provides valuable insight. Entrepreneurs study what works, what doesn't, and how to improve their approach moving forward. This process of learning and adapting strengthens both the entrepreneur and the business. Risk also builds resilience. Facing uncertainty teaches entrepreneurs how to remain calm under pressure, make thoughtful decisions, and continue moving forward even when outcomes are unclear. Over time, this resilience becomes one of the most powerful strengths an entrepreneur can develop. Ultimately, risk is not something entrepreneurs simply tolerate. It is something they learn to manage. By evaluating opportunities carefully, testing ideas gradually, and learning from experience, entrepreneurs transform risk into progress. In entrepreneurship, playing it completely safe rarely leads to innovation, but taking thoughtful, calculated risks can open the door to growth, discovery, and lasting success. The difference between reckless risk and strategic risk. Risk plays an important role in entrepreneurship, but not all risks are the same. One of the key skills successful entrepreneurs develop is the ability to distinguish between reckless risk and strategic risk. Reckless risk occurs when decisions are made without proper planning, research, or consideration of potential consequences. A reckless decision might involve investing large amounts of money into an idea without understanding the market, ignoring warning signs, or acting purely on impulse. In these situations, risk is not managed, it is simply taken without preparation. While bold action can sometimes lead to success, reckless risk often increases the chances of unnecessary loss and instability. Strategic risk, on the other hand, is very different. Strategic risk involves careful evaluation, preparation, and planning before taking action. Entrepreneurs who take strategic risks study the market, analyze possible outcomes, and consider both the opportunities and the potential challenges. Instead of committing everything at once, they often test ideas on a smaller scale first. This might include launching a pilot project, gathering customer feedback, or analyzing early results before expanding further. By taking this approach, entrepreneurs reduce uncertainty while still allowing room for innovation and growth. Another key difference is the role of information. Reckless risk often ignores information and relies heavily on emotion or speculation. Strategic risk relies on research, experience, and thoughtful decision-making. Strategic risk does not eliminate uncertainty entirely. Entrepreneurship will always involve some level of unknowns. But it allows entrepreneurs to move forward with greater confidence and preparation. Successful entrepreneurs understand that progress often requires stepping outside of comfort zones. However, they balance courage with strategy. They are willing to take risks, but they do so with awareness, preparation, and a clear understanding of the potential outcomes. In this way, risk becomes not a gamble, but a tool for growth and opportunity. And learning the difference between reckless risk and strategic risk is one of the most important lessons in building a successful business. Learning from failure. Failure is often seen as something to avoid. In many areas of life, failure is associated with mistakes, disappointment, or loss. But in entrepreneurship, failure plays a very different role. For many successful entrepreneurs, failure is not the end of the journey, it is part of the learning process. Building a business involves experimentation. New products are introduced, strategies are tested, and markets are explored. Not every attempt will succeed, and that is completely normal. What matters most is how entrepreneurs respond when things do not go as planned. Instead of viewing failure as a permanent defeat, successful entrepreneurs treat it as valuable feedback. Every setback contains information. It reveals what worked, what didn't work, and what could be improved next time. When entrepreneurs analyze their experiences carefully, failure becomes a powerful teacher. Many well-known companies and innovations were shaped by early mistakes. Products were redesigned, strategies were adjusted, and ideas evolved through trial and error. Without those early failures, the final success might never have been achieved. Learning from failure also builds resilience. Entrepreneurship can be unpredictable. Markets change, competitors emerge, and unexpected challenges arise. Entrepreneurs who develop resilience are able to remain focused even when progress slows or obstacles appear. Instead of giving up, they refine their approach and continue moving forward. Another important lesson from failure is humility. When things go wrong, it encourages entrepreneurs to listen more closely, to customers, to mentors, and to feedback from the market. This openness to learning often leads to stronger decisions in the future. Of course, learning from failure does not mean repeating the same mistakes again and again. Successful entrepreneurs take time to reflect on their experiences, identify the lessons, and apply those insights to future actions. In this way, failure becomes a stepping stone rather than a stopping point. In the world of entrepreneurship, success rarely happens in a straight line. It is often built through persistence, learning, and continuous improvement. Failure may be uncomfortable, but it is often one of the most valuable teachers on the path to innovation and growth. Businesses exist to solve problems. At the heart of every successful business lies a simple principle. Businesses exist to solve problems. Customers do not buy products or services simply because they exist. They buy them because those products make life easier, better, faster, or more convenient. When entrepreneurs understand this principle, their focus changes. Instead of asking, "What can I sell?" they begin asking a much more powerful question: "What problem can I solve?" Every industry in the world is built around solving problems. Transportation services help people move from one place to another. Communication technology helps people connect instantly across long distances. Healthcare organizations focus on improving health and well-being. Financial services help individuals and businesses manage money more effectively. Each of these industries exists because it addresses a need. Successful entrepreneurs are constantly observing the world around them, looking for problems that people face in their daily lives. Sometimes the problem is obvious. Other times it is hidden within inefficiencies, frustrations, or outdated systems. When entrepreneurs identify these problems, they begin designing solutions. These solutions may take the form of a new product, an improved service, or a more efficient process. Innovation often happens when someone finds a better way to solve an existing problem. For example, online shopping platforms were created because consumers wanted a more convenient way to purchase products without visiting physical stores. Food delivery services grew because people wanted restaurant meals delivered quickly and easily to their homes. In both cases, businesses succeeded because they addressed real needs. Another important lesson is that the value of a business is directly connected to the value of the problem it solves. The more meaningful the problem and the better the solution, the greater the potential impact of the business. Entrepreneurs who focus on solving genuine problems build stronger relationships with customers, create lasting value, and establish businesses that can grow over time. Ultimately, entrepreneurship is not just about selling products. It is about understanding people, recognizing challenges, and creating solutions that make life better. And when businesses focus on solving real problems, success often follows naturally. Innovation mindset. An essential quality of successful entrepreneurs is the innovation mindset. Innovation is often misunderstood as the ability to invent something completely new. While groundbreaking inventions do shape industries, innovation in business often comes from improving existing ideas, products, or systems. At its core, an innovation mindset is the habit of constantly asking one simple question: how can this be done better? Entrepreneurs with this mindset observe the world with curiosity. They pay attention to inefficiencies, frustrations, and unmet needs. Where others accept things as they are, Innovative thinkers imagine how they could be improved. Innovation does not always require advanced technology or complex solutions. Sometimes it is a small improvement that creates a significant impact. For example, simplifying a service, making a product more affordable, or improving the customer experience can transform an ordinary business into a successful one. An innovation mindset also encourages experimentation. Entrepreneurs understand that new ideas must often be tested before they succeed. Some ideas work immediately, while others require adjustment. Through experimentation, feedback, and learning, entrepreneurs refine their solutions until they deliver real value. Another important part of innovation is openness to change. Markets evolve, technologies advance, and customer expectations shift over time. Entrepreneurs who remain flexible and curious are better prepared to adapt to these changes and discover new opportunities. Innovation also thrives in environments where creativity is encouraged. Successful entrepreneurs often surround themselves with diverse perspectives and encourage collaboration. Different ideas and viewpoints can lead to better solutions and stronger strategies. Ultimately, innovation is not a single event, it is a continuous process. Entrepreneurs who develop an innovation mindset remain committed to improvement. They look for better ways to serve customers, more efficient ways to operate businesses, and new opportunities to create value. In the world of entrepreneurship, innovation is often the difference between businesses that simply survive and those that truly lead their industries. And it all begins with the willingness to imagine something better and the determination to bring that vision to life. Identifying market gaps. One of the most valuable skills an entrepreneur can develop is the ability to identify market gaps. A market gap exists when customers have a need or problem that is not being fully addressed by existing products or services. These gaps represent opportunities for entrepreneurs to create solutions that deliver value. Successful businesses often begin with someone noticing something that others have overlooked. Entrepreneurs pay close attention to everyday experiences. They observe frustrations, inefficiencies, and unmet needs in the market. When people repeatedly encounter difficulties, delays, or limitations, it often signals the presence of a market gap. For example, before online food delivery services became widespread, many people wanted convenient access to restaurant meals without leaving their homes. Entrepreneurs recognized this gap and created platforms that connected customers, restaurants, and delivery drivers. The same principle can be seen across many industries. Ride-sharing services emerged when entrepreneurs realized that transportation could be more flexible and accessible. Online education platforms grew when people sought more convenient ways to learn new skills. Identifying market gaps requires curiosity and observation. Entrepreneurs ask questions such as, what problem are people facing? Why hasn't this problem been solved yet? How could the existing solution be improved? Often, the opportunity lies not in creating something completely new, but in improving what already exists. A faster process, a simpler product, better customer support, or a more affordable option can sometimes fill a gap that competitors have overlooked. Research also plays an important role. Entrepreneurs study customer feedback, industry trends, and changes in technology. These insights can reveal emerging needs that have not yet been fully addressed. However, identifying a market gap is only the first step. The true challenge lies in developing a solution that effectively meets the needs of customers and delivers consistent value. Entrepreneurs who master this process, observing problems, identifying gaps, and creating meaningful solutions, position themselves to build businesses that serve real needs in the marketplace. Because in the end, the most successful businesses are often built not on random ideas, but on carefully observed opportunities waiting to be solved. Daily habits of entrepreneurs. Behind every successful entrepreneur is a set of consistent daily habits. While business success may appear dramatic from the outside, it is often built through small actions repeated every day. These habits shape how entrepreneurs think, work, and grow their businesses over time. One of the most common habits among entrepreneurs is continuous learning. Markets evolve, technologies advance, and industries change rapidly. Entrepreneurs who dedicate time each day to learning, whether through reading, listening to podcasts, or studying industry trends, remain informed and prepared to adapt. Another important habit is planning and prioritization. Successful entrepreneurs begin their day with a clear understanding of their priorities. Rather than reacting to every task that appears, they focus on activities that create the greatest impact for their business. This often involves identifying key goals, organizing tasks, and allocating time efficiently. Entrepreneurs also develop the habit of focused work. Building a business requires concentration and discipline. Successful entrepreneurs limit distractions and dedicate blocks of time to high-value activities such as strategic planning, product development, and decision-making. Networking and relationship building are also essential habits. Entrepreneurs regularly communicate with customers, partners, mentors, and team members. These interactions provide valuable insights, new opportunities, and support that can help businesses grow. Another important habit is reflection and evaluation. At the end of the day, many entrepreneurs take time to review what was accomplished, what challenges arose, and what improvements can be made moving forward. This reflection helps them learn from experience and continuously refine their strategies. Finally, successful entrepreneurs maintain habits that support personal discipline and well-being. Managing a business can be demanding, and maintaining physical and mental health helps entrepreneurs stay productive and resilient over the long term. Exercise, proper rest, and balanced routines contribute to sustained performance and clear decision-making. Ultimately, entrepreneurship is not defined by occasional bursts of effort, but by consistent progress. Daily habits shape long-term results, and the entrepreneurs who cultivate productive routines often build the foundation for lasting success. The importance of persistence. One of the most important qualities that separates successful entrepreneurs from those who give up too soon is persistence. Entrepreneurship is rarely a smooth journey. Building a business involves uncertainty, obstacles, and unexpected challenges. Plans may not always work as expected, markets may shift, and progress can sometimes feel slower than anticipated. In these moments, persistence becomes essential. Persistence is the ability to continue moving forward despite difficulties. It is the determination to keep working toward a goal, even when the path becomes challenging. Entrepreneurs who succeed understand that setbacks are not unusual. In fact, they are often part of the process of building something meaningful. Every business faces obstacles along the way. A product may need to be redesigned, a strategy may need to change, customer feedback may reveal improvements that were not originally considered. Rather than viewing these challenges as reasons to quit, persistent entrepreneurs see them as opportunities to learn and improve. Persistence also builds resilience. When entrepreneurs encounter difficulties and continue moving forward, they develop confidence in their ability to adapt and overcome future challenges. Each obstacle faced becomes part of their experience and strengthens their decision-making skills. Another important aspect of persistence is patience. Success in business often takes time. Building a strong brand, earning customer trust, and developing effective systems cannot happen overnight. Entrepreneurs who remain committed to their vision understand that meaningful progress is often gradual. They continue refining their ideas, improving their strategies, and working toward long-term goals. Persistence does not mean ignoring problems or repeating the same mistakes. Instead, it means continuing the journey while learning and adapting along the way. It is the balance between determination and flexibility. In the world of entrepreneurship, many people have good ideas, but it is often persistence that transforms those ideas into lasting success. Because in business, the path to achievement is rarely defined by a single moment of brilliance. More often, it is defined by the willingness to keep going, one step at a time, until the vision becomes reality. Managing time effectively. Time is one of the most valuable resources an entrepreneur has. Unlike money or other resources, time cannot be replaced once it is spent. For this reason, successful entrepreneurs understand the importance of managing time effectively. Building a business involves many responsibilities: planning strategies, meeting customers, developing products, managing finances, and leading teams. Without clear time management, it is easy to become overwhelmed by tasks that demand attention but do not necessarily contribute to long-term success. Effective entrepreneurs learn to focus on high-impact activities. Instead of trying to do everything at once, they identify the tasks that create the greatest value for their business. These may include strategic planning, decision-making, customer relationships, and innovation. By prioritizing these activities, entrepreneurs ensure that their time is spent on actions that move the business forward. Planning is also an important part of time management. Many entrepreneurs begin their day by outlining their key priorities. This helps them stay organized and maintain focus throughout the day. Clear planning reduces distractions and allows entrepreneurs to approach their work with purpose and direction. Another important principle is learning to delegate. As businesses grow, entrepreneurs cannot handle every responsibility alone. Successful leaders build teams and trust others to manage specific tasks. Delegation allows entrepreneurs to concentrate on strategic decisions and long-term goals. Time management also involves minimizing distractions. Modern technology offers many tools for productivity, but it can also create interruptions that reduce focus. Entrepreneurs often establish structured work periods where they dedicate full attention to important tasks. Finally, managing time effectively requires balance. Entrepreneurship can be demanding, but maintaining personal well-being is essential for long-term productivity. Rest, reflection, and healthy routines allow entrepreneurs to think clearly and make better decisions. Ultimately, time management is not about filling every minute with activity. It is about using time wisely, focusing on what truly matters. Entrepreneurs who master this skill create space for innovation, leadership, and growth. And over time, those disciplined choices about how time is spent can shape the future of an entire business. Understanding money in business. One of the most important skills every entrepreneur must develop is understanding how money works within a business. At first glance, money in business may seem simple: earn more than you spend. However, the reality is much more complex. Successful entrepreneurs understand that managing money involves careful planning, strategic decisions, and a clear understanding of financial fundamentals. One of the first concepts entrepreneurs learn is the difference between revenue and profit. Revenue is the total income a business generates from selling products or services. Profit, however, is what remains after all expenses have been paid. These expenses may include production costs, salaries, marketing, rent, technology, and many other operational costs. A business may generate high revenue, but if expenses are not managed properly, profit can remain very small or even negative. Another essential concept is cash flow. Cash flow refers to the movement of money in and out of a business. Even profitable companies can struggle if they run out of available cash to cover their day-to-day operations. Entrepreneurs must carefully monitor when money enters the business and when it must be spent. Maintaining healthy cash flow allows businesses to operate smoothly and respond to opportunities or challenges. Entrepreneurs also learn to view money as a tool for growth. Instead of spending profits immediately, successful entrepreneurs often reinvest a portion of their earnings back into the business. This might include improving products, expanding marketing efforts, hiring skilled team members, or investing in better systems and technology. These investments help businesses grow stronger over time. Financial discipline is another key element. Entrepreneurs regularly review financial data, track expenses, and evaluate whether each investment contributes to long-term success. This habit allows them to make smarter decisions and avoid unnecessary risks. Ultimately, understanding money in business is not just about accounting. It is about recognizing how financial decisions influence the direction and sustainability of a company. Entrepreneurs who develop strong financial awareness are better equipped to guide their businesses toward stability, growth, and lasting success. Profit versus revenue. In business, two financial terms are often used together but have very different meanings: revenue and profit. Understanding the difference between these two concepts is essential for anyone building or managing a business. Let's begin with revenue. Revenue is the total amount of money a business earns from selling its products or services. It is sometimes referred to as sales or total income. For example, if a company sells products worth $10,000 in a month, that amount represents its revenue. Revenue reflects how much money the business brings in before any expenses are considered. However, revenue alone does not tell the full story of a business's financial health. This is where profit becomes important. Profit is the amount of money that remains after all business expenses have been paid. These expenses may include costs such as materials, employee salaries, rent, marketing, technology, and operational expenses. For example, if a business generates $10,000 in revenue but spends $8,000 on expenses, the remaining $2,000 represents profit. Profit shows how much value the business actually keeps after covering the cost of running the operation. Because of this, a company can generate large revenue numbers but still struggle financially if expenses are too high. Entrepreneurs therefore pay close attention to both revenue and profit. Revenue indicates growth and market demand, while profit indicates financial sustainability and efficiency. Successful entrepreneurs work to increase revenue while also managing costs carefully to maintain healthy profits. They analyze financial data, review expenses regularly, and ensure that each investment contributes to long-term growth. Ultimately, revenue shows how much money a business brings in. Profit shows how much it truly earns. And understanding the balance between these two numbers is one of the most important financial skills an entrepreneur can develop. Cash flow thinking. One of the most important financial concepts entrepreneurs must understand is cash flow. Cash flow refers to the movement of money in and out of a business. It shows how much cash is coming in from sales and how much is going out to cover expenses such as salaries, rent, materials, and operational costs. While many people focus only on profit, experienced entrepreneurs know that cash flow is what keeps a business alive. A company may appear successful on paper, generating strong revenue and even reporting profits. However, if the business does not have enough cash available to pay its immediate expenses, it can quickly face serious financial difficulties. This is why entrepreneurs develop what is known as cash flow thinking. Cash flow thinking means constantly paying attention to how money moves through the business. Entrepreneurs ask important questions such as, when will customers pay for products or services? When do suppliers need to be paid? How much cash is available to cover upcoming expenses? By understanding these patterns, entrepreneurs can plan ahead and avoid situations where the business runs out of available cash. For example, a company may sell products to customers on credit, meaning payment may arrive weeks or even months later. At the same time, the business may need to pay suppliers immediately. Without proper planning, this timing difference can create cash shortages. Cash flow thinking helps entrepreneurs prepare for these situations by maintaining reserves, managing payment schedules, and carefully monitoring financial activity. Another important aspect of cash flow thinking is discipline. Entrepreneurs often resist spending money too quickly, especially during periods of strong sales. Instead, they ensure that the business maintains enough liquidity to handle unexpected challenges or new opportunities. Ultimately, revenue shows how much money a business generates, and profit shows how much it earns. But cash flow shows whether the business can continue operating day by day. Entrepreneurs who master cash flow thinking build businesses that remain stable, adaptable, and capable of long-term growth. Leading teams. As businesses grow, entrepreneurs quickly realize that success cannot be achieved alone. One of the most important skills they must develop is the ability to lead teams effectively. Leadership in business is not simply about giving instructions or managing tasks. It is about guiding people toward a shared goal and creating an environment where individuals can contribute their skills and ideas. Strong leaders provide clear direction. When team members understand the vision of the business and the objectives they are working toward, they are more motivated and focused. Entrepreneurs communicate this vision clearly, helping everyone understand how their work contributes to the overall success of the organization. Another important element of leadership is trust. Successful entrepreneurs recognize that building a capable team requires confidence in the abilities of others. They delegate responsibilities, empower team members to make decisions, and encourage initiative. When employees feel trusted and valued, they are more likely to take ownership of their work and perform at their best. Effective leaders also focus on communication. Open communication allows ideas to flow freely, problems to be addressed quickly, and collaboration to flourish. Entrepreneurs who listen to their teams often gain valuable insights that improve both operations and strategy. Leadership also involves support and development. Great leaders help their teams grow by providing guidance, feedback, and opportunities to learn new skills. When employees develop professionally, the entire organization becomes stronger. Another important aspect of leadership is leading by example. Entrepreneurs set the tone for the culture of the business. Their attitude toward hard work, integrity, accountability, and resilience often influences how the entire team behaves. When leaders demonstrate commitment and professionalism, those values tend to spread throughout the organization. Ultimately, leading teams is about more than managing people. It is about inspiring individuals to work together toward a shared purpose. Entrepreneurs who master the art of leadership create organizations that are collaborative, innovative, and capable of achieving long-term success. Making difficult decisions. One of the most challenging responsibilities in entrepreneurship is making difficult decisions. As businesses grow, entrepreneurs are often required to make choices that carry significant consequences. These decisions may involve financial investments, strategic direction, hiring or restructuring teams, or adapting to changes in the market. Unlike routine decisions, difficult decisions often involve uncertainty. There may be limited information available, multiple possible outcomes, and pressure to act quickly. In these situations, entrepreneurs must rely on a combination of analysis, experience, and judgment. Successful entrepreneurs approach difficult decisions with clarity and discipline. They begin by gathering as much relevant information as possible. This may include financial data, market trends, customer feedback, and insights from trusted advisors. By carefully analyzing the available information, entrepreneurs can better understand the potential risks and opportunities involved. However, information alone is not always enough. There are moments in business when perfect certainty is impossible. At these times, leaders must trust their strategic thinking and make the best decision with the knowledge they have. Another important aspect of decision-making is considering long-term impact. While some choices may provide short-term benefits, successful entrepreneurs evaluate how their decisions will influence the future of the business. They ask questions such as, will this decision support our long-term goals? Will it strengthen the business over time? Does it align with the company's vision and values? Entrepreneurs also recognize that not every decision will produce the desired outcome. Even well-considered choices can lead to unexpected results. What matters most is the ability to learn from these experiences and adapt when necessary. Strong leaders remain accountable for their decisions and remain open to adjusting their strategies as new information becomes available. Ultimately, making difficult decisions is an unavoidable part of leadership. Entrepreneurs who approach these moments with thoughtful analysis, confidence, and responsibility create businesses that are better prepared to navigate uncertainty and grow in a constantly changing environment. Responsibility in business. Responsibility is one of the most important qualities in entrepreneurship and leadership. When someone starts a business, they are not only creating an opportunity, they are also accepting a set of responsibilities that influence employees, customers, partners, and the wider community. At its core, responsibility in business means being accountable for decisions, actions, and outcomes. Entrepreneurs make choices that shape the direction of the company. These decisions may involve financial investments, product development, hiring employees, or entering new markets. Each decision carries consequences, and responsible leaders recognize that their choices affect many people. One key aspect of responsibility is ethical behavior. Businesses operate within communities, and trust plays a critical role in long-term success. Entrepreneurs who act with honesty, fairness, and integrity build stronger relationships with customers and partners. When businesses keep their promises, treat customers fairly, and operate transparently, they establish reputations that support sustainable growth. Responsibility also extends to employees and teams. Entrepreneurs who lead organizations are responsible for creating workplaces where individuals feel respected, supported, and motivated to perform their best. This includes providing clear guidance, fair opportunities, and a positive working environment. Strong leaders recognize that their teams are one of their most valuable assets. Another dimension of responsibility involves financial stewardship. Entrepreneurs must manage resources carefully, ensuring that money is used wisely and that the business remains financially stable. Responsible financial management protects not only the company, but also the employees and partners who depend on it. Responsibility also includes the willingness to accept mistakes and learn from them. No business journey is perfect. Challenges and setbacks will occur. What defines responsible leadership is the ability to acknowledge errors, correct them, and take steps to improve future decisions. Ultimately, responsibility in business is about more than achieving profit. It is about building organizations that operate with integrity, support the people involved, and contribute positively to the markets and communities they serve. Entrepreneurs who embrace responsibility not only build stronger businesses, they build trust, credibility, and lasting impact. Key takeaways. The Entrepreneur Mindset Summary. As we reach the conclusion of this audiobook, it is helpful to reflect on the key lessons that define the entrepreneurial mindset. Entrepreneurship is not only about starting a business, it is about developing a way of thinking that focuses on opportunity, innovation, and long-term value. Here are the most important ideas to remember. First, successful entrepreneurs focus on opportunities rather than obstacles. Where others may see difficulties, Entrepreneurs look for possibilities and solutions. Second, mindset matters more than ideas. Many people have good ideas, but it is discipline, persistence, and action that transform ideas into successful businesses. Third, businesses exist to solve problems. The most successful companies focus on understanding customer needs and creating solutions that improve people's lives. Fourth, calculated risk is a necessary part of entrepreneurship. Progress often requires stepping outside of comfort zones, but successful entrepreneurs manage risk through research, planning, and careful decision-making. Fifth, long-term thinking creates lasting value. Instead of focusing only on short-term profits, entrepreneurs build businesses that grow through trust, innovation, and continuous improvement. Sixth, strong habits support business success. Daily practices such as learning, planning, managing time effectively, and staying disciplined help entrepreneurs remain productive and focused. Seventh, financial understanding is essential. Entrepreneurs must understand key concepts such as revenue, profit, and cash flow in order to guide their businesses towards stability and growth. Finally, leadership and responsibility are at the heart of entrepreneurship. Building a business involves guiding teams, making difficult decisions, and acting with integrity and accountability. Entrepreneurship is a journey filled with challenges, learning experiences, and opportunities for growth. The entrepreneurial mindset is not something people are simply born with. It is something that can be developed through curiosity, persistence, and continuous learning. And for those who cultivate this mindset, the ability to create value, build meaningful businesses, and make a lasting impact becomes truly possible.